The warden burst into the cell for a surprise inspection. The man reading instantly tensed up. Hidden inside his book was a small hammer he'd been using to plan his escape, but when the guards entered, they completely ignored the book in his hands. Instead, they tore the cell apart, finding only minor contraband that hardly mattered. The warden seemed to have a soft spot for him, making an exception and letting Jack's infractions slide. Just then, the warden noticed the Bible in his hands. Luckily, he didn't open it. Instead, he seemed impressed that Jack was reading scripture. As he left, the warden handed the Bible back to him.
Salvation lies within.
Yes, sir.
For years, the warden had been using his position to line his pockets, but all that dirty money couldn't be spent openly. He desperately needed someone who knew the ins and outs of financial loopholes to launder his years of bribes. Jack was the perfect candidate. Serving life without parole, he posed no threat to the warden. Before long, Jack became the warden's right-hand man. Using his financial expertise, he cleaned the dirty money through stocks, insurance, and mutual funds, washing it spotless. He created a fake identity for the warden and funneled all the laundered cash into that account. The warden then assigned Jack to the library, making it easier for him to handle finances and taxes for more guards. Jack seized the opportunity to bring Red in as his assistant, saving him from hard labor. To improve the inmates' downtime, Jack asked the warden for funds to expand the library, but the warden claimed there was no money. If Jack wanted improvements, he'd have to write to the state himself for funding. So Jack started writing letters every week requesting funds. Week after week, without fail, he sent them off, though they all seemed to disappear into thin air. After 6 years of persistent letter writing, Jack finally got a response. The government promised to send $500 annually along with donated books. Jack used the money to renovate the library, and the books helped reconnect the inmates with the outside world. Here, prisoners could freely listen to music and read. One day, while a guard was in the bathroom, Jack found a record in his desk drawer. He immediately locked the door. He decided to be reckless, just this once. Beautiful music flooded through the PA system, reaching every corner of Shawshank. In that moment, the prisoners seemed reborn. Every face glowed with fleeting warmth and happiness. This stunt infuriated the warden. Despite the guards' threats, Jack calmly cranked up the volume. Their interests were too intertwined. The worst punishment the warden could give was solitary confinement. Red couldn't understand why he'd defy the warden like that. Jack told his fellow inmates that music reminded him there were things in this world that walls couldn't contain.
What are you talking about? Hope.
Then a new inmate arrived, bringing what seemed like hope for Jack. His name was Tommy, doing 2 years for burglary. His outgoing personality made him popular with the other inmates. Tommy approached Jack about getting his high school diploma, and Jack generously began teaching him to read. When Tommy learned from Red why Jack was in prison, his face went pale. It turned out Tommy had once heard another inmate bragging about a burglary gone wrong where he'd killed a couple having an affair, then framed the woman's husband for it. Jack was stunned. He immediately went to the warden, pleading his innocence and begging for help to clear his name. But the warden knew exactly what was at stake. Not only did he refuse to help, he threw Jack in solitary for a month. To crush Jack's hopes completely, the warden called Tommy outside the prison walls and shot him dead, claiming he'd tried to escape.